support of the development of the Lobito Corridor. Tanzania views the Lobito Corridor as an integral part of a broader strategy to enhance connectivity in Africa. We also appreciate the fact that the implementation of the project will provide important opportunities for Africa's development in sectors such as agriculture, renewable energy, digital transformation, trade and logistics along the corridor. Tanzania is already undertaking internal consultations aiming at aligning this project with national priorities and other bilateral and regional commitments. In closing, allow me to reiterate Tanzania's commitment to regional integration and shared prosperity. We note the progress made on the development of the Lobito Corridor and commend the visionary leadership that has brought this initiative to life. And it is through such partnerships and innovations that Africa's Agenda 2063 will be realized. I thank you.
Your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And you right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth. This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever. Not a close second. And I've known him for years. The Brzezinskis have known him for 50 years. If it weren't the truth, I wouldn't say it. And you...
Boy. We got to talk about another prime example of how this country, America, has become a laughing stock on the world stage under the leadership of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, whom we haven't really seen much since her landslide defeat to President Trump. And when we have seen her, she was drunkenly trying to beg the donors for money to pay off the debts of her failed campaign due to the fact that she decided it was a good idea to waste their $1.5 billion on fake endorsements from Beyonce, Oprah, Al Sharpton, Roland Martin. Yeah, that's the last time that we saw Kamala Harris. Okay, pretty embarrassing stuff, right? And then we got to talk about Joe Biden, who, you know, is facing a whole lot of backlash for breaking his promise to the American people because he decided to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, in a clear and overt act of corruption. Okay? And now we got to talk about Joe Biden seemingly falling asleep on the world stage at a meeting with African presidents. Okay, Biden was supposed to be over there representing us in our bid to try to outcompete China and Africa in regards to investment. So basically giving more money overseas to other countries, right? That is what Joe Biden was over there for. And the dude just flat out fell asleep at the table, okay? It is so undisputable that Biden did, in fact, fall asleep that even the mainstream liberal media, ABC, is calling out Joe Biden for falling asleep. And remember, these are the same people that when we were calling out Joe Biden falling asleep before at these meetings, they were saying, no, that's a cheap fake, right? You're not actually really seeing Joe Biden fall asleep in the middle of these speeches or meetings and stuff like that. No, that's not what you're seeing. You're seeing something else. But this time, it's so obvious, so clear that even the media is calling it out. So I want to go ahead and play the full 1-minute clip of Joe Biden falling asleep during the Snooze Fest meeting, and then the media calling him out, basically saying, yeah, Joe Biden definitely fell asleep at this meeting. Take a look.
With the U.S. in support of the development of the Lobito Corridor. Tanzania views the Lobito Corridor as an integral part of a broader strategy to enhance connectivity in Africa. We also appreciate the fact that the implementation of the project will provide important opportunities for Africa's development in sectors such as agriculture, renewable energy, digital transformation, trade and logistics along the corridor. Tanzania is already undertaking internal consultations aiming at aligning this project with national priorities and other bilateral and regional commitments. In closing, allow me to reiterate Tanzania's commitment to regional integration and shared prosperity.
Joe, knock the fuck out
we
at the
note
meeting.
the progress made on the development of the Lobito corridor.
That's a sign of disrespect
the visionary
to you niggas,
leadership
nigga.
that has brought this initiative to life.
Man.
And it is through such partnerships and innovations that Africa's Agenda 2063 will be realized. I thank you.
Is this your king? Huh? Is this your king?
President Biden is heading back home after wrapping up his historic trip to Angola. Before heading home, he met with African leaders and toured a food processing facility. Biden also visited a port where he toured an American-made cargo train, which is part of the administration's investment in African railways. There is one moment that's causing quite a stir online, at least. Biden appearing to doze off a couple times during his meeting. ABC's Alex Prochet is in Angola. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Elizabeth. So President Biden left Angola earlier this afternoon. It was an ending to a whirlwind trip, a historic trip that lasted just under 2 days. The president, the first sitting U.S. president to visit the country of Angola. He's also the first sitting U.S. president to visit the continent of Africa since 2015. And a good portion of today was spent in Lobito. That is where the Lobito corridor is taking place. It's a rail project that the White House hopes one day will connect Western and Eastern Africa. The president hopeful that will provide alternatives to the billions of dollars, the billions of Chinese dollars that are flooding into the region for infrastructure projects as well. Now, while the president was in Lobito, he also touted agriculture, 5G, and solar projects as well. But Elizabeth, I got to tell you that one of the highlights or headlines from today was during a roundtable. President Biden appeared at multiple times to sway, to nod off, to close his eyes, and also he appeared to fall asleep multiple times. Now, I will note that he did have an early start to today. He had been up since about 2 a.m., and also this is a long foreign trip, so it's possible that jet lag could be playing a factor. But at one point, his Deputy National Security Advisor, John Feiner, had to come over and interrupt this roundtable, which is a rarity, whispered in the president's ear, and Biden then sat up. He opened his eyes, took out his notebook, and appeared to jot down notes. But this was something that was noticeable for reporters in that room. But listen, the White House is hoping that this visit, this historic visit, will further underscore the arc of the relationship between Angola and the U.S. They both started out with a shared history in slavery. They were on opposite ends of the Cold War, and now they're working together as strategic partners, specifically whenever it comes to shared economies and also whenever it comes to national security. And the hope is that this historic visit will only foster a continued growth of this relationship. Elizabeth?